Hi, I'm Michael Burke, and this is Money Talks.
Hi, welcome to Money Talks. Today we are at Mrs. Myers' reading room with the founder and president, Tammy Myers. Just for a locator, we're out at 6233 Durand Avenue. And Tammy, your 3-year-old business has an interesting model to it, to bringing kids along who are ages 3 to 12. And we won't have a lot of time to talk about this patent pending system that you came up with, but clearly there are a lot of parents out there who have found it very effective. But what we're going to focus on a little bit more today is the recent Small Business Administration funded accelerator program, business accelerator, that you went through at Launchbox. So, but in a word, what's your elevator speech? You know, the mom that you see on the 15th floor and you tell her about your business on the way down. What do you tell her?
I tell her we help children create a brighter future. We help prepare children for kindergarten through our kindergarten readiness program, as well as help the students that are struggling to learn to read. We help get them on the right track for reading.
And then mom probably asks you too, well, how long is the program? And what do you tell them?
We say that we start the program for 6 months, and we monitor their children or her child through pre and post testing to determine their progress and to help let the parent know how far they need to go in our program. So it's very individually based.
And we can say this much. I had about a 30-minute conversation with you before we started recording here, and one thing that was pretty evident was you do a lot of, there are a lot of activities, physical activities that you incorporate, and story writing and things like that. But why the physical activities? That doesn't seem to be a natural fit with learning to read.
Well,
And what are some of those examples of the physical
Sure.
things?
We use kinesthetic motion of the body to help facilitate learning and memory. And there are tons of research out there that says, you know, kids have to move. They have to move. It releases chemicals in their body that help them remember items that they've learned. And it also helps them apply what they've learned into real motion. So just because they can see it and regurgitate it doesn't mean it's applicable for them. And until they can apply what they've learned, it's not really learned.
So what's an example of the movement? And I'm sure you're not having kids with a book in their face
No.
trying to jump a stick or something.
No, absolutely not. We do a lot of recitation and chanting in the beginning for the movement, and we pair that with fun games like limbo and hopscotch, freeze dance, foursquare, hot potato with a ball. And once we move into the hopping games that can become very repetitive hopping games, then we can infuse those with applications for consistent learning with those patterns. So we match the physical pattern with the learning pattern as well.
And I asked you this before, but I'd like to hear your answer again, which is, how does the kid say, when does the kid say the word if they're going under a limbo stick or something like that? Are you making them say it during or what?
Well, actually, it's teacher and student specific and what their target is. But I would like to say that a student has to perform a physical activity immediately before, right during the activity, or immediately after for it to be effective. So, and it depends on the student which placement is more effective for them. I find most students, though, are pretty fluid, and it's the very few students that you have to be specific on when they use that skill. and the activity. Most students are fluid.
What's an example of something they would say? So somebody passes them a ball and they say what, ride a bike or what?
Well, actually, they're reading words from their curriculum. So the words are being displayed on the monitor, and the students are throwing the ball, and they're either saying the word, and the next student might be saying a rhyming word. The next student might be using that word in a phrase. Okay, and then another word pops up, and then that student has to read that word, and the next student has to say a rhyming word, and the next student has to say a phrase or a sentence using that word.
Okay.
So it's the reading as well as the application that's important.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the accelerator. First of all, you had to apply. I found out from the Launchbox manager, Kristen Nemec, that there were 37 applicants and only in Racine and Kenosha areas, and only 6 were selected. Do you know why you were one of the 6 selected?
I didn't know there were 37 applicants. Wow. I knew we felt privileged being honored, being selected. We actually had a little party here when we found out, yes, champagne and everything. We were so excited. I think we were selected because we believe in our product, and we had already gotten so far in the business perspective to do pre and post testing to validate that the methods that we were using worked, and we already had our patent in place.
Okay.
So,
well, let's turn that around, because clearly you wouldn't know 100% why you were chosen.
Right.
Why did you apply? Why did you want to get into this program? What did you want to get out of it?
we needed help figuring out our next steps at a level of business that was beyond what we are and what we offer. I'm a speech pathologist by profession, and I am learning business as I go.
Sure.
So I don't believe that I'm a professional business person. I have to have people help me with that and know how to make those business type decisions. But you can ask me anything about speech pathology or reading, and I will get you.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you want to replicate this business. You want to be able to have more Mrs. Myers reading rooms, and to the point where you're aiming toward franchises. So was that not part of what you wanted to
Absolutely.
to do with the accelerator?
Yes, and we needed help in that direction. We needed guidance in how to set that up so that we knew what our most valuable product was that we were going to be offering, and that we knew our customer segment to target, and how to determine where to put our next location and where to help guide people that wanted to franchise into helping them have the most successful franchise they could have using our service.
Now, I know you got some very concrete things from this 12-week experience. Let's talk about, you knew you wanted to aim toward franchises someday, but tell about what you discovered with licensing and how far along that is already.
Right, that was huge, actually, and unexpected as well. As we went through the Launchbox program and we're interviewing customers, which is a huge part of the program, we determined from a lot of the answers that our product being licensed through preschools and schools for kindergarten readiness and reading assistance was a huge need, but it was not just a huge need, it was a huge desire. We had customers already asking for it, and so through the Launchbox Accelerator, we were able to facilitate all of the documents necessary to start that program, and we already have 5 schools that are interested.
So obviously that's a huge business opportunity for you then too. So you've got two different paths you can take in the future. You can not only can you open more of 3. You can open more of your own, which I know you plan to do, and thereby test the startup steps for a franchise. Then you've got that franchising avenue, and now you've got this other licensing.
Right.
That's a lot to get from a 12-week program. You also discovered something in the marketing or customer segment area. Why don't you tell what that was?
Oh, are you talking about the kindergarten readiness aspect
yeah.
of it? Yes, we thought that our most valuable service that we offered the community was the reading assistance. Based on our community and the needs of the students and the state of the schools and the reading problems in the schools, we thought that was what we could offer this community. And as we were interviewing customers, and we interviewed 140 customers, the majority of them came back saying that they were interested in pre-literacy skills in our kindergarten readiness program. And actually that interest is probably at a level above our reading assistance program. They're equal in a lot of ways, but for that to come up when it had been a program that we didn't advertise, we offered very minimally, and it came up to be equal to or above the interest level of our reading assistance program.
And you said that just in the 12 weeks since you identified that important but under-marketed opportunity, you've gotten, what, 20 more kids in the...
Oh, yes, in 12 weeks, we've increased our enrollment.
You know, we're getting a little bit short on time, and of course, we're only going to be able to scratch the surface of what a business like this would offer parents or offer their children. But I'm sure people are wondering, what's my commitment? This is just something basically parents have to pay for on their own, or are there, yeah. So give some idea of the cost and the, you said it's a 6-month offering. What is the 6-month cost?
Okay, so for 6 months, we have payment plans for every financial situation. Okay, so I don't want to discourage someone from at least calling and talking to us and finding out what those different payment options are. On average, it costs a student $1,100 for a 6-month opportunity.
Okay, so if my math is right, a little under $200 a month, or about $50 a week to get your kid in a program like this. And I think you told me, at least earlier, you're already looking at opening a second, possibly a third location.
Right.
Where might that be? Do you want to give any hints?
Well, right now we're looking in the Mequon area
Okay.
for our second location, and we've already started some of the demographic research for that. And there is also a suburb of Chicago that we're looking at as well.
And you feel confident that this is a program, because clearly you're not going to be in all 3 locations, that you can start it up and hand it off to somebody to run?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a program where we train our teachers in our method, and it's a very structured program, and they become certified to teach our method. And once they have that certification, they're competent, because we don't release them with it until they are.
And by the way, I neglected to elicit this, but you have not only, you have a patent on the, what is it that's patent pending exactly?
Our teaching method is patent pending.
And you have your own app, you were showing me.
And we have our own app that is a proprietary app, copywritten, so.
And your own curriculum, I believe.
And our own curriculum, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's not same old, same old.
No.
Tammy Myers, great job with the business. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Tammy Myers, founder and president of Mrs. Myers Reading Room in Racine, Wisconsin. I'm Michael Burke. Thanks to the guy behind the camera, Greg Shaver. We'll see you next time.